everyone. Welcome back to the channel Inspirations with Roshonda, which is a little bit of this, a little bit of that, all things inspiration for your mind, body, and soul. So today I wanted to discuss some simple things we should all be thinking about, we should all be doing, and we should all be thinking about achieving this year in 2023. So if you've been following me on the podcast, I've been talking about the difference between resolutions and truths and setting goals. Right now we don't want to set goals. We want truths, okay? Something that we're really, really intending to do or gonna do. Nike said it best, just do it. Not resolutions, because we set those every year, and by the time January leaves, we done fizzled out, and the resolutions or whatever we thought we wanted to do is down the drain. So this year we're setting truths, and we're holding ourselves accountable for those things that we want to do this year, because the only way it doesn't get done is if you don't do it. So you got to do it in order for it to get done. However, it only takes a couple of small steps to make something stick. So what I did was I thought I would take just a couple of tips from my last podcast, which was entitled Let's Do, Let's Achieve, Let's Think More in 2023. Things to get us moving forward, not backwards. So I kind of took a couple of pieces, couple of tips from that, and I'm going to share them with you today. It's going to be really quick. So in the podcast, I talked about let's think more, let's do more, and let's achieve more. And I gave quite a few tips for each one. So let's get right into this, shall we? Let's think more. Let's think more wisely. Okay, I don't know about you, but let's try to think before we speak. Let's think before we speak. Now, honestly and transparently speaking, my mouth has gotten me into more trouble than I care to admit. Okay, this thing right here has gotten me into a lot of trouble because I don't use wisdom when I think about things, or if somebody says something to me, I'm just ready to shoot off at the mouth and just whatever, but the Bible tells us that we should be slow to speak, quick to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath. So that means that if you're supposed to be slow into speaking, if that makes sense, slow to speak, then you got to use a little wisdom, right? And the Bible tells us over there in James that if we ask God for wisdom, that he would give to all men liberally. So God got a boatload of wisdom that he's ready to give out. The only thing you have to do is get in line so you can receive it. So this year, let's think more wisely, okay? The Bible says a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. And if your emotions was anything like mine, then it's ready to take those car keys and it's done gone before your body could even catch up. Your emotions is already in California and you right in Texas. So tell your emotions this year to give you the key and allow you to think more clearly. Put things before God. I'm a big firm component about that, about putting things before God. Sometimes before you speak, before somebody done said something that made you feel some type of way. I know I've had that quite a few times, and I've had to go to God and just be like, I don't understand what's going on. I'd rather go to God and cry or get frustrated and put it before him than that person, because if I do, then it's going to be an even bigger mess. So put things before God. Ask God to, not let you talk so much, okay? And think before you speak. So this year we want to think more wisely. Another thing that we want to do this year, let's do more forgiving and showing a little mercy, okay? Need I say more? So I remember probably a couple of weeks ago, I got this text message. And the text, now, don't get me wrong, text messages can be construed like big time. You might think somebody is saying something, and you think somebody is angry. I know I had someone to tell me last month, in a text message, well, you don't have to get upset. And I'm like, but I'm not upset. And I didn't think that my text message came across as upset. So it's better to have conversations over the phone. That way you can kind of listen and get people's tone, but a text message can definitely be construed. And the way this text message came across to me, I presumed that the person had like some type of attitude, because the text message was very matter of factish, to say the least. But that night I ended up telling God, I was like, God, you know what? I don't know what that person is going through, and I might be reading more into this than what it really is. God, bless me not to jump on the bandwagon of aggression and just getting upset with people and just, thinking somebody got an attitude, thinking somebody is mad and all this stuff. And it could be nothing like that. It's me and what I'm thinking, which 9 times out of 10 is probably the wrong thing. But it's me. It's what I'm thinking. It's what I'm feeling. It's how my emotions is rolling around, okay? And I'm projecting that on someone else. So I was like, God, I don't want to hold no acts of aggression. I don't want to, handcuff anybody this year with my emotions. I want to show people more grace. And if they are upset or they are mad or they are feeling some type of way, and that's how their text message really meant to come across, then God, I forgive them. I don't want to hold anything up in my mind or my heart about somebody, and then you get around them, then you can cut the tension with a knife. Like, I don't like that type of stuff. So let's do more forgiving and showing a little more grace. We never know what people are thinking, dealing with, or what they're going through themselves. As a matter of fact, they may not even be thinking about you. They may not even was aware of how their text message or how their email, came across, or how their tone was. They wasn't thinking about that. You know what I mean? So we just say, you know what, God, if it was meant as harm, forgive them. And God, if it wasn't meant as harm and it's something that they going through, then God, bless me to show them a little more grace. Okay, the next thing is, let's achieve more. What do we want to achieve more this year? Let's achieve more, let's say dust it off. Do you got something that you need to dust off? You don't even have to tell me, because everybody does, okay? Everyone has something they put on the back burner to be written, explored, or tackled for a later time. Okay, and it's something that you might have said, you know what, I'm going to get to that next week, or this year, I'm going to write that book, right? This year, I'm going to start the business. I'm going to do it this year. But if you don't have a plan in place to do it, then this year is going to be like every other year before, and it's not going to get done. And then next thing you know, 2024 is going to get in here, and you're going to be saying, this year I'm going to do it. No, make action plans to actually put it in place and actually do it this time. I'm talking about really, really do it. If you got a book that's been on your flash drive for 5 years, I think it's time to dust it off. If God gave you the idea for a business or a clothing line or whatever it is, maybe it's even to go back to school, I think you should revisit that and dust it off. And I think you need to do it this year. Okay, just get it done. All right, set action steps, set action plans. What I've done this year, and I've learned it, I actually learned it last year, is to kind of put things on my calendar and make myself reminders. I have something on my calendar right now that I am doing, and every day it comes up, do this today. Do this today. And I'm like, okay, I need to do it. And sometimes it comes up and I'm already in the process of doing it. So let's do it this year. Let's dust it off. Let's get it done. And let's move on to other projects or other things that we need to do. Okay. I think one of my things that I want to dust off this year, amongst other things, is getting a passport. I was going to get one last year, and it was like I kind of got stopped. Some things happened. As they say, life happens. Life happens to all of us. And I think that's like the number one thing that keeps us stagnated, that keeps us, not doing what we supposed to do, because we let life happen and we let life take over and we let life run on and see what the end going to be, but you need to run on and see what the end is going to be. Okay, don't keep letting life happen. Life will happen, and it does, and it's not going to stop. So therefore you have to come up with action plans to to get some things done. Okay, so those are just a few things. All right, let's think more wisely. Let's do more forgiving and showing more grace, and let's achieve more. Let's dust it off. Those were just a few steps, or tips rather. But if you want to hear more, then visit the podcast on Matters of the Heart with Roshonda. There's a whole lot more tips there. Get your pen, get your paper, because it's a long one, but it's something that you're gonna want to probably take some tips and learn a couple of things yourself, or maybe some things that you want to implement and do this year. Okay, maybe a couple of things that you can even put on your truth list. Matters of the Heart with Roshonda can be accessed wherever your favorite music and podcast stations reside. So that's Stitcher, that's Apple Podcasts, that's Spotify, iHeart, wherever you love listening to your favorite music. They have a podcast station as well, and I promise you, Matters of the Heart with Roshonda is there. So you can find that link in the description box. I also have an announcement next week. It's finally here, okay? I'll be revealing the title of Yolanda and I's new book, and giving pre-order information of where you can purchase. It's a self-help book that I believe is going to be a big, tremendous help to a lot of women. So stay tuned to this channel and my social media information, which is linked in the description box as well, for the big reveal. I can't wait to reveal what the title of the book is. Please don't be off-putting by the title, okay? But the information in it is amazing, and I know that it will help you. And I'm going to reveal what that book name is next week. There's going to be some podcasts and some things coming out, a lot of promotion going on between now and February the 14th, okay? So stay tuned, and yeah, be on the lookout for that. So that's all I have for today. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, think about some things that you want to do, think, and achieve this year. And don't just talk about it, do it, okay? Even if you have to put it on your calendar and remind yourself, okay? The way January is leaving here, we'll be back in the summer before you know it, okay? And what will you have achieved during that time, okay? We want to be on the other side of if. So anyway, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you again soon.